So, summer is almost upon us, and you're thinking about taking a well-deserved holiday. And one of the destinations that you would like to visit is Italy. Well, first of all, let me say congratulations. Well done, because Italy is an excellent choice. Italy is absolutely gorgeous. However, there are a few things that you ought to know before you visit this beautiful country that I call home. So I'll be giving you a few do's and don'ts to help you out on this well-deserved holiday. Now, at the end of the video, I will give you a few phrases and words to help you out even further to make your holiday relaxing and trouble-free. So you might want to stick around for those. So if you're interested, you know what to do by now. Don't go anywhere. Now, the first thing that I would suggest that you do, and that is learn a few phrases in Italian.
Ciao, buongiorno a tutti.
Apart from the fact that it's fun, but Italians are very proud people and they love their country and they love their language. But I've always got the feeling, and this is between me and you, I've always thought that the Italians feel not really considered by the others, because whenever I've traveled abroad and I've gone to museums and I've used those headphones where they translate the information about the different pieces that you're looking at, they always have it in French, in Spanish, in German, English, but there's never Italian. And I think the Italians feel this. It annoys them a little bit. So if you learn just a few phrases, a few words, it doesn't matter how badly you pronounce it, they will love you for it. Just the fact that you've tried and that you're making an effort will go a long way, and they will really, really appreciate you for it. So, if you want to start your holiday off well, start learning a few words or a few phrases in Italian. So if you do that, you'll see, and then you'll remember, Angie was right, and you'll thank me for it. You're welcome. Now, when you're out and about, and if you should hear shouting, don't be scared. Nobody is fighting. There's no problem. Nothing's going on. You're not in danger. Especially if you're in a bar. This is just normal Italian banter. They will scream and shout, and it will sound like all hell has broken loose. But no, they're just friends, two friends sitting at a bar. And if it's about football, maybe the match that happened the night before and their team lost, oof. You will hear all kind of colourful words, but it's okay. It's all done in good fun. There's no danger, there's no problem. It's just Italians can get really loud because they're really passionate. So, just bear that in mind. Now, Italy is a really hot place. If you come here in the summer, I'm telling you, I'm talking about so hot, and there's not even a of wind, nothing. Especially if you walk around places like Florence and Rome and places like that in the cities. Oh my goodness. So I suggest and make sure that you pack comfortable clothes, light clothes, and baggy clothes. You don't want to have clothes that are tight on you. It's not a case of looking good now. It's a case of being comfortable, because it can be unbearable. Pack light clothes, comfortable clothes, and make sure also that you wear comfortable shoes, because you are going to be walking a lot. Seriously, a lot. So don't be doing something crazy like wearing flip-flops. Because if you do, by the end of the day, they're going to have to amputate. So, be careful now. Comfortable shoes that you've already tested out, and you know for certain that you can walk all day in them. Because if not, you're going to be crying. And the next day, you're not going to be able to walk. So, comfortable shoes and comfortable clothes is definitely the way to go. When you meet someone who you don't know, maybe somebody in the shop or somebody introduces you to someone, don't say ciao. Now, I know that we all know that ciao means hello, but ciao is something that you say to a friend, to an acquaintance, to someone who you know. At the end of my videos, I always say ciao because you and I, we're friends, right? So I say ciao to you. But if it's someone who I don't know, like your mother or father, I would say buongiorno. And that means good day, buongiorno. And if it's in the evening, you would say buonasera. It means good evening. Buonasera. So if you enter into the shop during the day, don't just walk in and say ciao. Just say buongiorno. Now, if they reply to you buongiorno, that means that they want you to keep it on a formal level. But if they say to you, oh, ciao, that means that they're quite happy to be friends with you. So you judge the situation. But remember, buongiorno, buonasera, and ciao. Know when to use those words and you won't go wrong. Now, I'm sure you realize that you come to a place like Italy and you go to all the main tourist attractions like Rome and Florence. You know there's going to be lots and lots and lots of people. The crowd is going to be ridiculous. So I would suggest strongly, if you can, to buy tickets in advance to all the museum and all the places that you would like to go. That way you can skip all that crowd and make your life and make your sightseeing easier and more comfortable. Because you don't want to stand up in that queue. You honestly don't. Not in that heat. All right? Now, if you're driving in Italy, don't trust blindly the GPS. Don't just assume because you're using the navigator that it's going to take you where you want to go. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. The amount of times that I've gone around and round and round in circles because I follow that stupid GPS. Don't be afraid to have a map with you. Now, maps don't work for me because I can't read them, I can't follow them, I ain't got a clue. So have a map with you or have some form of backup other than the GPS because it could take you around and around and in places that you just don't even know where you are and you just don't want to know. So, okay, so don't just trust blindly the GPS. In many places, in many shops and restaurants and places of business, they close from around 12:30, 1 o'clock to around 2, 3 o'clock, depending on the places. So I would suggest that in those hours you relax, you rest, and then to carry on for the rest of the afternoon. Now, me personally, when I go to hot countries, I don't tend to do a siesta because if I relax, especially after I've had lunch and if I've had a beer, if I sit down, I ain't getting up. Hell no. So the whole of the day is like a wash. So me personally, I prefer to keep going. Even if things are closed, I'll just walk around and peep. I personally don't do a siesta because it doesn't work for me. But the chances are that it might work for you. So at least you know and you're not kind of like disappointed that when you look around, everything is closed in the afternoon, okay? Now, as I said before, Italians are very proud and they love their country and they love their monuments. It should go without saying, but unfortunately, it has to be said. And that is to respect the monuments that you see. And when I say respect, I mean don't be eating a sandwich on top of a monument, on the stairs of like a church or in the fountain and things like that. Don't do that. And the amount of times that I've seen people like walking into fountains and disrespecting the things, and you can take pictures and have fun and do what you want to do. but you have to be respectful. And also that would include, if you're eating, look for a bin to throw away stuff. Don't just throw things on the floor. You would be surprised the amount of people that do that. They wouldn't do it back home. Never. But they travel and all common sense just goes through the window. So, just be mindful and respectful of the things that you see and visit. Now, another thing that I would suggest strongly is that you carry a bit of cash. Now, of course, in all the shops and restaurants, they all kind of use credit cards, of course. But in Italy, there are a lot of little shops and open air markets and in flea markets that probably don't have credit cards. And you're going to want to visit these places, because what's better than walking down an open air market and looking at all the stuff? So you're going to want to visit, and you're probably going to want to buy something. So make sure you have a little bit of cash with you, nothing crazy, but just enough that if you want to buy a few items, you can, all right? Now this one I cannot stress enough. So let me just tell you, do not expect the Italians to rush. Let me say it again. Do not expect the Italians to rush. Ain't happening. They ain't doing it. They ain't going for it. They don't care. You might have in your head your timetable on the things that you want to do and when you want to do it, but that doesn't mean that the Italians are on the same wavelength. More often than not, they are not. And the further south you go, the slower they become. I remember years ago, I had to do this show in Naples, Capri, which is an island near Naples. And this island is absolutely gorgeous. I took a plane to go there, and the plane journey was one of the worst plane journeys I've ever had in my entire life. There was turbulence that I never thought was even possible. And I remember there were people taking out the sick bags. I mean, it was a mess. So when I arrived in Naples, I was already pretty jittery, right? Because, that was just like the worst. So that evening, I was supposed to sing in this club. Took a taxi from the airport to the docks to get a boat, because it was an island, so we had to get a boat to get to the venue. When I finally rocked up to the venue, I put my head through and I thought, I think we've mistaken the place. It can't be here. So we all kind of looked around to sort of see if we could find the number on the door. And then we walked back in. This place was empty. There was not a light fixture on the wall. There were just like cables coming out through holes from the wall. There was like trash all over the floor and dust. There wasn't a stage. There were no lights. There was nothing. It was just a big hall with nothing, and it was just a mess. And there were these guys just standing around, just shooting the breeze and laughing and joking. I said, oh my goodness, what's going on? And they sort of looked at me. I said, I'm supposed to sing here tonight. And goes, sing? I go, yeah, I have a show here tonight, but nothing's ready. Oh, you sing here tonight? Yes, tonight, ready. I said, how can it be ready? There's no light fixtures. There's nothing. There's no sound system. There's no stage. There's no chairs. There's no tables. How is it possible? He said, tonight, we're ready. Easy, calma, which means be calm, stay calm. When I tell you that I started to have palpitations, I thought, oh Lord, this isn't happening. So we went out, got ourselves a drink, chilled for a bit. Do you know, when we went back to that place, it looked like something out of a film. There were like fairy lights and LED lights and tables and chairs. There were soft fixtures. There was a stage with a beautiful sound system. Everything was up and running in the most spectacular way. of course, I let out a sigh of relief. But I had to learn that Italians move at their own pace. They don't rush, and they don't want you to rush them. But you know what? They always get the job done. Now, as I said before, Italy can get really crowded, especially like at the places like the Colosseum, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, those kind of places. There's going to be tons and tons of people. As a consequence, make sure you look out for pickpocketers because they are rife and they're really swift. One day I was in Rome at the station and I had like a backpack, and in that backpack I had like a flat, it looked like a wallet, but it wasn't a wallet. It had like papers and things in it, nothing major. And in 2 seconds that I put on the backpack, somebody was able to open it up and take it out. Now, what made me laugh was when they opened it and they realized that it wasn't a wallet and there was no money in it. Do you know they had the nerve to come to me, to give me back my things and expect a reward? They wanted me to give them money for giving me back my own things. I mean, can you actually believe the cheek, the nerve of that? But yeah, so be careful. The bigger the crowd, the more the possibility of pickpocketers. So head on a swivel and make sure that your property, your bags and everything is well protected. Now, another thing that I suggest strongly that you do, actually it's not even a suggestion, it's almost a must at this point. And that is that when you enter a church, to make sure you enter as you know you should. And that is with your shoulders covered, your knees covered, and not in revealing clothes. When you go to church in your country, you wouldn't dream about going to church in a bikini, right? I've seen that happen here. They think, okay, I'm on holiday, so it's okay to rock up in a church in a bikini. No, they won't let you in and they will turn you away. And quite rightly so. So if you're visiting, if you're out and about, if you're dressed like I am today with like no shoulders, all you have to do is put like a shawl in your bag so that when you want to enter the church, you take out your shawl and you put it over your shoulders. And preferably no shorts with all your legs out. If you know that you want to visit a church that day, just put on like 3/4 length trousers or like Bermudas or something that kind of covers your knees that's a little bit longer. So don't forget that shawl, okay? And for the fellas, a t-shirt and Bermudas or long pants, you know how it is. So if you want to visit these places, make sure that you're dressed respectfully, as if you would back home, okay? Now this, I would think that it goes without saying, oh my goodness, you're in Italy after all. And that is to try out all the local dishes. Oh my goodness. You cannot go wrong. No matter what restaurant, in what area, really, no matter where you go, the food in Italy is phenomenal. Don't be one of those people that come to Italy and seek out McDonald's or KFC. Don't do that. Please don't do that. There is so much to have. So look up the local dishes in Rome, like the carbonara. Or if you go to Florence, you have to have like a bistecca alla fiorentina, which is a T-bone steak, which is huge and pink in the middle. And oh my goodness, it's so juicy. I'm getting hungry. Why am I doing this to myself? So you really have to try everything. And if you can, stay away from those touristy places. Try and find a restaurant where the locals go to. Because if the locals go there, you know for sure that the food is going to be mwah, okay? So check that out and buon appetito. Don't try and cram lots and lots and lots and lots of things into your Italian holiday. it's not going to work, because Italy is vast and there's so much to see. There's so much walking. There's so much to do that you can't be seeing 4, 5, 6, 7 things a day. You are going to be burnt out after 2 days, and it's just not going to work, and it's not going to be much fun. Rather visit 1 or 2 things, but visit them properly and enjoy them, rather than trying to put all these different things into one day. It becomes chaotic, and it's just not going to work, and you're just not going to enjoy it, and you're just going to be too tired to do anything. So, just pace things out evenly and enjoy your Italian experience. Okay, so when you're in a restaurant, don't be afraid to ask for extra things, because a lot of times you don't find things on the table, or they won't give it to you automatically. For example, ice. If you ask like for a Coke, they might not put ice in it. So you ask them, can I please have ice? Which is a little tip, ghiaccio. Okay, ghiaccio. That's ice. Can I please have some ice? And they will put it in the glass for you. Or if there isn't oil on the table and you want to put oil on it, you can ask for oil. Or if you want some cheese, like Parmesan, to spread over the pasta, you ask them for it. Don't be afraid to do so. And if you order a salad, sometimes in some places, they might even put all the condiments on for you. Now, if you're like me and I prefer to do it myself, you can ask them not to do that. So again, don't be afraid to ask for what you want and what you don't want, okay? Now, I know that you're tourists, but try and avoid too much of the touristy things, and try to avoid and keep your eye out for those people that will try to overcharge you, like those tourist traps, and they will try to overcharge you for everything. So the things you're doing, try and have an idea of how much it's going to cost you. That way, when they tell you double or triple that amount, you can say, hell no, I ain't paying that. I know for sure that it costs this amount. Because they will try it. Oh yeah, that's just a given. They will try it. If they know that you're a tourist, and some tourists more than others, they will inflate the prices that you wouldn't even believe. Keep an eye out for that, and just try and make sure that you know what you should be spending. That way they don't take advantage of you. Okay? So just be mindful of that if you can. Don't be afraid to use hand gestures. Now, I know it sounds crazy and it might look silly, but Italians are all over the place when it comes to their hands. They will move around and they will do all of that, and it's extra. That's how they roll here in Italy. If you don't have the words and you don't know how to say something, don't be afraid to use your hands. One year I was in Spain, and Spain are pretty much the same kind of thing. And I don't speak Spanish. If they speak slowly, I'll probably get the gist of it, but I don't speak the lingo. So one day I was in Spain, and for some reason we kind of found ourselves in this town which we've never heard of. And that night there was like a bullfight. Now that's not my thing, that's not my scene at all. But we were there and we thought, you know what, for something to do, let's go and see. But I don't want to see no bullfight. I don't want to see them attacking no bull. So they were sort of saying, come and watch the bullfight. So I said, do you do away with this poor animal at the end of it? And they didn't understand me. They didn't know what I meant. So I said, I said, no, we don't do that. We don't do that. It's fun. You come. So, at the end of the day, it's all about communication, right? And you want the person to understand you, and you want to understand them. So if there's a way, and that is using your hands, then go for it. It's all in good fun. Now, if you have to form a queue where there's going to be Italians, just know that people will jump in front of you. Oh yeah, that's going to happen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Italians, but it's the truth. They will jump in front of you in a heartbeat. Now, if you have a ticket, you know those places where they call your number, that's fine. And even then they will try it. What they will do is say, no, excuse me, I'm just going to ask a quick question. And then they'll stay there for half an hour. So if there aren't any tickets and you have to join this queue, be mindful of who's before you so you know that you're after them. And more importantly, be mindful of who's behind you, who comes in after you, so that they don't push in front of you. Because if not, you're going to be there all day because people will be pushing in front of you and you're trying to be respectful and do the right thing. But sometimes it just doesn't work that way. So just keep an eye out, okay? Italy is so beautiful. No matter where you go, from Rome to Venice to Florence to Milan, there is so much to see. There's so much culture. There's so much art. There is the music. There's so much for all kinds of different tastes. So you know what? Go and have fun and enjoy it. I remember, it's crazy, right? I remember one year that I was in Venice. Now, Venice is beautiful. Take a gondola. You have to do all that kind of stuff. And I remember we was at a restaurant and we were having dinner and there was like an older couple there. They were tourists and they were moaning and they were saying, oh my God, Venice is so boring. There's nothing to do here. There's nothing to see. What do people do in Venice? They just go to bed early. And I sat there listening to this conversation and I was absolutely gobsmacked. And I remember thinking, are these people, are they crazy or what? You don't come to Venice for the nightlife. There are so many places that you can go to if you want to meet people, if you want to go to the club and discotheques. Venice is not known for going there for nightlife. I mean, or am I crazy? Or is it me? When you think about Venice, you think about lovers, you think about the beauty. In my mind, I was thinking, yeah, probably you're not getting on and you hate each other. That's why you don't like Venice. But you know, that's just being mean. But come on now. So yeah, enjoy it. So make sure that you choose the places that you think that you would like, the places that you know that you would enjoy. So be safe and have a good time. Enjoy Italy because it really is worth it. Don't expect everyone to speak English. It's improved a lot because when I first came here, very few people spoke English. Now with internet and things like that, there's more people speaking English now. But even so, not everyone does. So don't expect everyone to speak your language. And don't be offended if they don't. Don't be impatient. Don't start shouting because you think if you raise your voice, they will understand more. It doesn't work like that. So just be mindful that not everyone here speaks English. Now, another thing apart from the food and everything else that Italy offers, you have to try Italian ice cream, gelato. Gelato is something, don't let me think about it. Up until recently, nearby our home, we had a shop that they kind of made their own ice cream. When I tell you that every summer, that was our place of call. It's a shame and a disgrace. We used to get these tubs of ice cream and they had all different kind of flavors and each flavor was better than the other. Last year they closed down. When I tell you that we were upset, it's like wherever they've moved to, let's move and go where they are because I don't know if I want to live here without the ice cream. That's how good it is. So you cannot come to Italy. Don't come here. Don't come here and not try il gelato because it is something memorable. It's not like one of those confection things that you might buy elsewhere. Italian ice cream really is worth the hype. You'll see. Hi, just stopping by real quick to give you a little bit more information. And that is to say, okay, we've spoken in this video about all the beautiful cities that you can visit in Italy. But Italy isn't just about monuments and museums. Italy is also home to beautiful sandy beaches and deep blue seas. Places like Sardegna, which is absolutely gorgeous. White sandy beaches, deep blue sea. It's a bit on the pricey side, but it's spectacular and you will definitely love it. Then there are places like Riccione and Rimini, which is more for the younger people because it's full of nightlife, parties and clubs and discotheques, and you will definitely meet a lot of people. So if that's what you're looking for, definitely check that out. Then there are places like the Isle of Elba. Now the Isle of Elba has everything. It has sandy beaches, it has pebble beaches, and it also has rock beaches. So for whatever your taste, whatever you like, you can find something that fits your taste and fits your budget. So definitely check that out if that is what you're looking for. Now for a little extra something, and that is if you really want to go all out on your Italian visit, you can visit a place called Matera. Now Matera is gorgeous because it's a city built in rocks, very unique, very original. You don't see anywhere else but here in Italy. And then there's another place in Puglia called Alberabello, where all the houses are this super white and they're called trulli. Another place that is super unique and original that you're not going to be disappointed if you visit. So there you have it. I really hope you enjoy your holiday, and I hope that this section has been informative. Let me know. Mwah. So there you go. There are a few do's and don'ts that can help you on your Italian visit. I hope they do, and I really hope you have a wonderful stay. Now, as promised earlier, I'm going to give you a few more phrases that can help you even more if you visit Italy. Now, we've been through buongiorno and buonasera. We've done that. Now, another word that I think that is very important to use when you're here in Italy, and that is permesso. Permesso means excuse me. So if you're walking around and you're in a crowd and someone's in the way and you want to get by, you just say permesso. That means excuse me. If they're Italian, they will say prego. Prego can mean so many different things. But in this instance, it means go ahead. You're welcome, go ahead. Okay? So remember, if you're walking and there's someone in your way and you need to get by, permesso. Now, if you're in a shop and you see something that you like and you want to know how much it costs because it's not displayed, you say, quanto? Now, the whole phrase would be, quanto costa? How much does this cost? Quanto costa? But I don't think it's necessary to have to put the costa afterwards. I think you can get by quite fine by saying, quanto? How much? Quanto? And of course, you hold up the item that you're interested in. So you don't have to explain how much is this dress or how much is this cup or how much is this. No, just hold it up and say, quanto? Now, another phrase which I think is important, and that is if you're going somewhere and you don't know where it is and you want to know. And that is dov'è? And that means where is it? Dov'è? Now again, you can say dov'è il ristorante, which is where's the restaurant, or dov'è il biblioteca, where's the library, although I don't think anybody will go to the library. But I think in this case, again, just to make things short and sweet for you, all you need to say is dov'è. You can point, use those gestures, or point to a map, or point to something written and say dov'è. And if you point to it on the map, they will understand and they will explain to you. And just the fact that you try to communicate with them in their language, they will take their time and try and explain it to you. So, go for it. Now, finally, the final word, which I like, and that is basta. Now, basta means enough, right? So if the kids are getting on your nerves, it's basta. If you're in a restaurant and they're pouring you some wine, you can say, okay, basta, grazie. And of course, there are those must words, such as grazie, which means thank you, grazie, and per favore, which means please. Per favore, please, okay? So if you're in a restaurant and they're pouring you some wine and you've had enough, you just say, basta, grazie. And there you are, you're speaking Italian. So there you go. I hope that this video has been helpful. If it has, please give it a thumbs up. And if you do visit Italy, have a wonderful time. I'm sure you will. So thank you for stopping by and watching this video. I hope to see you soon. But until then, be kind to yourself and to others. Take care. Bye for now. Buongiorno. Ciao.